The sun was setting over the bustling streets of Los Angeles. The sidewalks were crowded with people rushing home, their faces buried in their phones or lost in thought. Among them, sitting against the wall of an old brick building, was a man whose presence went unnoticed by most. His clothes were tattered and his hair was disheveled, but his eyes sparkled with a peculiar intensity. He was sketching something on a piece of cardboard with a dull pencil, the lines forming intricate diagrams that seemed out of place in his current circumstances. Elon Musk had just stepped out of a nearby coffee shop, a rare moment of leisure in his otherwise packed schedule. As he waited for his car, something caught his eye: the detailed sketches on the cardboard. Curiosity piqued, he approached the man. "Interesting designs you've got there," Elon said, crouching down to get a better look. The man glanced up, momentarily startled, before offering a faint smile. "Thanks, just some ideas I've been working on," he replied, his voice tinged with humility. Elon studied the sketches. They weren't just random doodles, they were detailed schematics of what appeared to be an innovative engine design. "Are you an engineer?" he asked. The man hesitated before nodding. "I was. Once. My name's David." "Was? What happened?" Elon's tone was more curious than probing. David sighed. "Life happened. Worked for a tech company years ago, but things spiraled out of control. Lost my job, my home, everything. Been on the streets ever since." Elon's gaze shifted back to the cardboard. "This design, it's brilliant. What is it for?" David's face lit up for the first time. "It's a concept for a self-sustaining energy system. It could revolutionize how we generate and store power. I've been refining it in my head for years, but, well, you can see my situation." Elon nodded slowly, recognizing the depth of thought and ingenuity in the design. "Mind if I borrow this?" he asked, gesturing to the cardboard. David hesitated, then shrugged. "Go ahead, not like I'm going to do much with it." Elon took the cardboard and handed David a business card. "If you're interested, give me a call. I'd like to talk more about this." David accepted the card with a skeptical look, but nodded. "Sure, thanks." The next day, David found himself staring at the card. The name Elon Musk seemed familiar, but it wasn't until he asked a passerby that he realized who he had met. Gathering his courage, he walked into a public library and used the phone there to make the call. "Hello, this is Elon," came the familiar voice on the other end. "It's David," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "We met yesterday." "David, glad you called. Can you meet me at SpaceX headquarters? I'll send a car to pick you up." David was stunned, but agreed. A few hours later, he was being escorted into Elon's office, feeling out of place in his worn clothes. Elon greeted him warmly and gestured for him to sit. "I showed your design to a couple of my engineers," Elon began. "They were impressed, said it's one of the most innovative concepts they've seen." David's eyes widened. "You're serious?" "Completely. I want to offer you a chance to develop this idea. You'll have the resources, the team, and the support you need. What do you say?" David was speechless. After years of being overlooked and dismissed, someone was finally giving him a chance. "I don't know what to say. Thank you." Over the next few months, David's life transformed. With access to state-of-the-art facilities and a team of brilliant minds, he brought his concept to life. The energy system he designed not only worked, but exceeded all expectations. News of the breakthrough spread quickly, earning David recognition and respect. One evening, as he stood on the rooftop of SpaceX headquarters, looking out over the city, Elon joined him. "You've come a long way, David," Elon said. David smiled. "Thanks to you. You didn't have to stop and talk to me that day, but you did." "Why?" Elon thought for a moment before replying. "Genius can be found anywhere. Sometimes all it needs is a chance to shine." David nodded, the weight of those words settling in his heart. He knew his journey wasn't just about his own redemption, but also a testament to the power of belief and opportunity. And for the first time in years, he felt like he truly belonged. David had always been a dreamer, someone who saw potential in ideas others often overlooked. For years, he poured his soul into concepts that were innovative, visionary, and daring, yet no one seemed to notice. The world around him was consumed with the next big trend, the next shiny thing, while David's ideas gathered dust in the corners of his mind. He had become accustomed to rejection, to being overlooked, to watching others soar, while he remained grounded. The voices of doubt grew louder with each passing year, but even in the darkest moments, he never stopped dreaming. It was at one of the lowest points in his life, when everything changed. David found himself sitting in a small cafe, nursing a cold cup of coffee and lost in thought. His fingers danced absently across a napkin, sketching out a new idea he'd been toying with. An energy system that could revolutionize the way the world harnessed power. He'd been working on the concept for months, refining it, testing it in his head over and over again, but this time felt different. This time, he felt like he was on the brink of something monumental. But as usual, he was unsure if anyone would ever take him seriously. It was then that a shadow fell over his table and a voice broke through his reverie. "That's an interesting idea," the voice said, smooth yet commanding. David looked up, surprised to see a tall figure standing in front of him. The man was dressed casually but exuded an unmistakable aura of authority and intellect. His presence commanded attention, even without words. "I'm sorry, do I know you?" David asked, momentarily taken aback. The man smiled slightly, a glimmer of recognition in his eyes. "I'm Elon," he said simply. David's heart skipped a beat. Elon? He knew who this was. The man who had built some of the most innovative companies in the world. The visionary behind SpaceX and Tesla. Wow, David stammered, unsure whether he was dreaming or if this was real. I didn't expect—" "No need for formalities," Elon interrupted with a kind smile. "I saw you working on something here, and I have to admit, I'm intrigued. Tell me about it." David hesitated, unsure of whether to share his idea. He had never told anyone, let alone a world-renowned entrepreneur, about his concept, but something about the way Elon spoke made him feel as if this moment was meant to be. With a deep breath, David began to explain his idea for an energy system that could solve the world's energy crisis by using a new, sustainable method of capturing and storing power. As he spoke, Elon listened intently, asking questions, challenging him, and offering insights that pushed David to refine his concept even further. By the time David had finished speaking, hours had passed, but he hadn't even noticed. He was too caught up in the conversation, the excitement, and the sense that, for the first time, someone truly understood his vision. "That's remarkable," Elon said after a long pause. "You've got something here, David. But the question is, are you ready to take it further?" David's mind raced. Take it further? He had never even imagined that anyone would want to help him bring his idea to life. "You've got the potential to change the world," Elon continued. "But you'll need more than just a good idea. You'll need resources, a team, and the support to make it happen. I want to offer you that opportunity." David was speechless. His mind was swirling, and for a moment, he couldn't find the words. He had spent years watching others be given opportunities, their ideas celebrated, while his remained ignored. But now, here was a chance, a real chance, to prove himself. I don't know what to say," David murmured, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you." Elon smiled, as if he'd known exactly how David would respond. "Take your time. But when you're ready, we'll be here." Over the following months, David's life began to transform in ways he had never thought possible. With Elon's backing, he was given access to state-of-the-art facilities, cutting-edge technology, and a team of brilliant minds from across the globe. He was no longer alone in his quest. The team he worked with was dedicated, innovative, and driven by a shared purpose to bring his vision to life. Together, they worked tirelessly to perfect the energy system. They encountered countless challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, but each time they faced failure, they picked themselves up and pushed forward. David's team became more than just colleagues, they became friends, united by a common goal, and through it all, David's confidence grew. He saw his idea taking shape, evolving, becoming something that could change the world. Then one crisp evening, after months of hard work, it all came together. The system was ready for testing. The moment of truth had arrived. David stood before the team, his heart racing. This was the moment he had dreamed of for so long, the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and belief. He looked around at the faces of his team, who shared his anticipation and excitement. With a deep breath, he initiated the test. The system hummed to life, lights flickered, screens blinked, and then everything fell into place. The energy system not only worked, it exceeded all expectations. It was more efficient, more sustainable, and more powerful than anyone had imagined. The room erupted in applause. David felt a surge of emotion wash over him, pride, relief, and a sense of fulfillment that he had never known before. His concept had become a reality. Word of the breakthrough spread quickly, and soon David found himself at the center of the global stage. News outlets, investors, and government officials were all eager to learn more about his invention. But amidst all the attention, there was one moment that stood out above the rest. One evening, several weeks after the successful launch, David stood on the rooftop of SpaceX headquarters, looking out over the city. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over everything. He felt a deep sense of peace, a sense of accomplishment that he had never thought possible. Elon appeared beside him, offering a knowing smile. "You've come a long way, David," Elon said, his voice calm and steady. David turned to him, grateful for the man who had given him the chance to prove himself. "Thanks to you," he replied. "You didn't have to stop and talk to me that day, but you did." "Why?" Elon looked out at the horizon for a moment, as if reflecting on the question. When he spoke, his voice was quiet but full of conviction. "Genius can be found anywhere. Sometimes, all it needs is a chance to shine." David nodded, the weight of those words settling deep within him. He had spent so many years feeling invisible, overlooked, and dismissed. But now, with this opportunity, he had found his place. He had found his purpose. For the first time in years, he felt like he truly belonged. His journey wasn't just about personal redemption. It was a testament to the power of belief, opportunity, and perseverance. It was proof that sometimes all it takes is one person to see the potential in you and give you the chance to change the world. And David knew, in that moment, that his story was far from over.